Thanks, Anthony. This past September, the NKBA published the 2026 KTR via KBB at KBIS, or as the kids call it nowadays, KBIS. What's with all these acronyms? I don't know. We're gonna have to call in our friends. Anthony, cue the music! Okay, that was good. That was nice. You get the idea. Industry acronyms are your friends. Okay. We're just gonna play B-roll here, but I'm gonna show you in my little window. NKBA stands for the National Kitchen and Bath Association. Okay, good so far. The KBB stands for the Kitchen and Bath Business. Okay, that's cool. KBIS obviously stands for Kitchen and Bath Industry Show. And the KTR is an acronym that I came up with. Oh, I skipped one. KTR is the acronym that I came up with that stands for Kitchen Trend Report. So the 2026 Kitchen Trend Report contained this quote, and I'm quoting verbatim from kbbonline.com. The report reveals that the majority of kitchen trends are in the growth phase of adoption, presenting an opportunity for designers to pursue. These include smart technology integration, open layouts, hybrid products, generational customizations, and wellness-focused spaces. So, Anthony, what does this mean for the industry? And in terms of words and meanings, literally, what did I just say?
So, Tom, you said a lot of things in there, and those in the industry sift through it pretty easily. So, I think we're in good shape for our target audience. And like we like to do with Steel Cod Live, we'd like to look at what are things that jump out to us when we read the press releases or the articles or look at the specs and that stuff. And a couple things jumped out to me, and I know that one I'm sure John is going to talk about is color and finishes is a part of the trends coming up. The one that jumped out to me is steam cooking was the number one that we'll see more of, and it's definitely been on the rise. But it's funny, whenever we do a Steel Cod Spotlight and we talk to manufacturers or dealers or appliances that should be floating to the top, that more customers should be considering, steam convection always is the number one answer, or the vast majority of the time. So I was excited to see that it was number one in this report. So hopefully we're going to see a little more steam cooking. John, what are your thoughts on this NKBA report?
Yeah, so in a shocking turn of events, I'm actually not going to use this to talk about color this week, because I want to talk about this as it's just trend pieces overall, right? Like this one, they're completely underappreciated by appliance salespeople, because really, if I had to guess, they probably think that they don't give them something that's truly going to help them advance the sale today. And even me, right? I mean, I read all of these ones, and whenever I do, I always ask myself a pretty simple question is, can I use this tomorrow on the floor? And with this article, I think it really kind of hands us something pretty great, and that's at the very end. Once you get through all of the great stuff that they wrote up about, there's this little generational customer map that I think that we can actually weaponize today, right? I've always been kind of a human over hardware seller, right? I mean, the fastest way for me to ever win a sale was to start with the person in front of me, right? And really kind of fix their feeling and then kind of let the product follow suit after. And this little product map the customer map that they give us at the end is really kind of 5 clean entry points to do exactly that. So when you look at how they break it down, first there's Gen Z, right? And Gen Z, their focus is going to be on smart and connected behaviors, right? So you want to sell them automation without fear that's going to remove steps like they're open for, right? App alerts that are going to prevent waste, and guided cooking that's going to shorten that process. And then, fridge inventory that's going to keep track of itself. So basically these guys, you can say, hey, set it up once and it runs quietly in the background and they're going to be sold on, and then the next one, millennials with kids, right? And millennials with kids is very different with millennials without kids, right? Because millennials with kids is functional living, right? And anybody with young kids has always felt the chaos around dinner time. So if you can paint this picture effectively, nobody will say no. Because with young kids, it's always chaos. There's something about that dinner hour. I don't know if medications are wearing off or whatever it is, but like the temperature in the room always seems to like spike like 25 degrees. Everybody's sweating or crying, or just there's a lot of emotion that happens during that dinner hour. So, millennials with kids are feeling that. Luckily, I'm past that point, in parenthood at this point, but I still remember what it feels like. In fact, there's probably people watching this right now where their heart is starting to beat a little bit faster because they remember back to those days. But if you can make their dinner hour cooler and quieter and safer, like, you're in. So lean in towards things like induction for safe heat in a cooler room overall, right? Combi steam to finish food without having to babysit it because you got 3 kids fighting in the corner. Low decibel dishwashers, so like homework and TV can happen while the kitchen kind of resets itself afterwards, right? You're dealing with the same space, but you've created a heck of a lot less chaos as a result. And then you have the millennials without kids, right? They're a completely different focus. They're going to be looking for more like higher end conveniences, right? I mean, they want to keep their look clean, but they want to keep hosting easy. Normally they're bigger entertainers than the ones with kids, right? So you think of panel ready refrigeration and flush lines, things like that. Induction that has plenty of bridge zones for their bigger pans when they're entertaining. Think of speed and steam ovens. They'd be open to it because they can get their apps out quicker or better reheats overall. You have a beverage center, right, where people tend to congregate around, especially you have people over for Sunday for a game or something. So you're creating an environment that's not only company ready, but can actually produce and recover faster as a result. Then you have Gen Xers, right? I mean, for them, it's pretty easy. I mean, they're in that stage like me where they're just looking for smarter storage and a house with less clutter. So if you can remove the decision-making process, it just makes things a heck of a lot easier, right? Flexibility to match how they shop, and like these internal organizers that they have right now in appliances that really kind of stop that weekend purge. I mean, I've been doing a weekend purge in my fridge for 13 years with these kids. So, I mean, I understand what that pain looks like. And again, same footprint, fewer steps. And then boomers, they're looking for, that kind of easy and healthy lifestyle, right? So you want to focus on things like reach and safety and visibility and simple routines. So, I mean, maybe they'd be more apt for a wall oven because you can put it at a comfortable height, something that has glide racks that come all the way out, right? Maybe you can introduce them to induction, or at least gas burners that have auto shutoffs, right? Even lighting becomes super, super important here, right? Steam assist. You don't have to sell them a steam oven that they might be confused by, but you can sell them an appliance with steam assist that doesn't impact the way they cook right now, but they'll get a sense of healthier cooking from it, right? So give them nothing to relearn, but just something that works a little bit more effortlessly for them. Like, look, the bottom line here is, and I know I'm kind of rambling, is we all get stuck with that closed off customer who isn't really giving you what you need to advance that sale, right? So when that happens, use this kind of little roadmap to break up that stalemate that you have on the floor, right? I mean, pick one of these doors, ask a human question, fix that feeling, and then kind of let that product follow, like I was telling you earlier, and then you'll get it back on track.